Hey there, how you doing? Aw, look at you. So surprised to see me. You're speechless. You must be overwhelmed with emotion. Calm down. I'm not here to collect on anything. Come on, we've been through this. You don't owe me anything. I'm just here to see how your sister's doing. How is she? Yeah? Good. She hasn't heard anything from her ex-boyfriend? Very good. Well then, I guess that little situation is resolved, huh? I didn't think he'd bother your sister again, but pays to check. We're also going to be checking in on him from time to time. After we last spoke to him, we strongly advised that he get therapy. After all, we want him to learn that he shouldn't be doing this type of thing. We don't want him to just learn that he shouldn't be doing it to your sister. How's things otherwise? What? Are we not friends now? Have we not worked together well? What do you mean, how do I know? You're gonna make me feel unwelcome, kid. I realize the unannounced drop-in isn't the way people do things anymore in this age of cell phones, but still. Oh, come on. You can't be that surprised that I know where you live. Of course I do. I'll tell you what, though. I'm a little surprised that you live in such a... No. The word I was gonna use was... rat trap. Yeah, rat trap. You're living in a rat trap. It's a fucking shithole. I mean, I knew you were strapped for cash, otherwise you wouldn't have been involved with our mutual friend to begin with. But, really this odd up? You can't be happy about your sister living here. Yeah, I didn't think so. I wouldn't be happy if it was my sister. Of course, my sister would never. The woman once went camping with a kid's scout troop, brought $1,000 sheets with her from Bergdorf's. Oh, I ain't kidding. My husband's got more money than God and less sense in your bank account. How is your debt coming along to that asshole anyway? Has he been backing off? Uh-huh. Well, I thought we could have a reasonable conversation with him. Apparently not. Oh, no. No. I didn't intervene on your behalf, Cupcake. We discussed this. He's doing business without a license. You remember? If he wants to work in this area, he has to go through the proper channels. He has neglected to do that. Tell me something. You've been paying him, right? All right. And do you have enough to pay off what you initially borrowed? All right. So, here's what you're going to do. You're going to take that money, you're going to go pay him. And then you're going to tell him that that is your last payment because you do not owe him any interest because he did not have the right to charge interest in this area to begin with. Oh, it'll work, I promise. Because I'm going to go with you. He might not have realized who I was the first time we met, but he's not going to make that mistake a second time. He knows what I look like now, and he knows who I am. And he's not going to want to argue with me. You saw how willing he was to engage with me last time we spoke. Look, I promise you, this is another one of those mutually beneficial situations. It would be a favor to me as much as it is to you. Well, if you must know, the first time we met, I mentioned my uncle. I invoked his name because mine is not known in this area. You saw, that guy didn't recognize me. I don't want to be unrecognizable in this town anymore. My uncle is getting ready to retire. And when he does, he's looking for somebody to take over for him. Right now, he's got his eye on his son-in-law, somebody who married into the family, just because he's a man. I've grown up in this business. I know how it's run. I know how to protect its interests. But I haven't had a whole hell of a lot of opportunity to prove myself. Because when my uncle comes across a situation like this, he hands it to his son-in-law to handle. It wouldn't even bother me so much if it was his daughter he was passing it down to. But all she cares about is clothes. He's trusting this guy he only really got to know in the past year. And it's killing me. This guy who's messing with you, it's not big. But it's somebody my uncle doesn't know about. It's something I can hand to my uncle all tied up in a bow and resolved before he even finds out about it. And show him that I can do this shit. That I can be more than just a glorified fucking secretary in a warehouse waiting to sign for papers. You and me, we wouldn't be doing this alone. The same guys who went and talked to your sister's boyfriend would be there with us to back us up if we need to. They're good guys. They look like a couple of muscleheads, and they are, but they respect me. And they've been friends with me since we were little, and I used to kick their asses on the playground. They want to see me succeed, because if I succeed, they succeed, and they know it. Not gonna lie, I like you. I think you're a good guy. I think you do what you gotta do, and you do it for respectable reasons. I appreciate that. And I wouldn't mind having you along with me for more than just this one thing. If you want a job with me, you got it. No, I don't know you very well. But I think I know your motivations. And when you know somebody's motivations, you know what you can trust them to do and not do. But what I'm talking about right here, right now, it's not you working for me. This is us working together. You understand? And frankly, what have you got to lose? Yeah, he could come after you. But let me ask you something. Are you honestly ever going to be able to repay that loan with the way the interest is piling up on it? Yeah, exactly. And are you ever going to trust him enough to do a job with him again? Right. So, if you can't pay him off, and you're not going to work for him, he's going to come after you anyway. That's a good question. You're a smart cookie, Cupcake. You're right. I could do this by myself. It would take me a little bit to find him, not too long, I'm sure. But then I find him, right? I go confront him. He's going to give me some bullshit about how, oh no, I never did that. With you along with me, all of this goes much faster. And frankly, I want fast. Because it's going to take more than me just rounding up one little punk for me to prove to my uncle that I can take care of his business. The faster I find this guy and take care of him, the more time I have to show my uncle other things I can do. So what do you say? Are we going to help each other out here? All right. That's what I like to hear. Here, let me give you my cell phone number. You give me yours. And that way, I don't have to drop in unannounced again, like it's 1985. Now, I just want one more thing out of you. Where's the closest place to get good sushi around here? Freaking starving again. Hey, cupcakes. Hope you enjoyed that one. I am going to be taking a quick break from that character for just a little bit. Today in a server, some other VAs and I were just sort of riffing and joking and came up with an idea. Actually, Night Siberius came up with an idea of a dragon who is just kind of having a bit of a whine and a moan about what it's like to be kidnapping princesses and princes in this day and age. And it was so silly and so fun that the script was very easily written and very easily recorded. So that will be coming out tomorrow. I have so very many thanks to give, and welcome to my newest patrons, Miko, Nico, Jedi Griff, and Klaus Schmidt. Thank you for joining me. And also, the people who've been kind to me on Throne with the sewing supplies again. Oh my. Thank you, Kialoa. And also Inline Flaws, who got me a perfume it was created in 1860. And I cannot wait to wear it and smell like a Victorian. I want to walk by and make blind people go, "Oh my God, she smells old." And even though they cannot smell me, my bakers and pound cakes who support me, I have so many thanks for: Rogue Scholar, Barry Wilburn, The Steed, Anon, Harper Evolution, Wolf 9004, Vile Miles, Succubus Slave, Malice Silo, Army Guy 007, Mr. Fabulous, Bunny, Tiny the Taxman, Meryl, Inline Flaws, Mr. Rickles, On and Always Able, Infinite Moon, Old Bean UK, Klua Bear Forces, Swaggy Llama, Cody, Artlow, Pierce Tailish, This Guy, and Christian Cleopatra. You are all so wonderful. And you know what, actually, speaking of people supporting me, I had a really sweet comment from one of my patrons today, who, I'm not going to say exactly what he said because it was personal, but the gist of it was that he was very kindly giving me credit for making him feel like he had someone listening to him. Ironically, when you guys are the ones listening to me, he felt like he had someone to talk to, someone to be there with. When his friends and his family couldn't be there, when he felt alone, when he felt the absence of a romantic relationship, he said that the audios serve as a bandage. And as much as I'm so grateful to be a part of that for him and for so many of you, I am such a small part of this equation, and I deserve so very little of the credit. You guys are finding ways to fulfill an emotional need for yourself without relying upon others to do it. And that's an incredible life skill. And it's not reserved for people who don't have a girlfriend or a boyfriend or a husband or a wife. It's not reserved for that, because no matter where you are in your life, you can still use more of it. And it's not just romance. We have an emotional need for excitement. We have an emotional need for romance. We have an emotional need for crying. And fiction has always been that for us. You guys have found a kind of fiction that is immersive. You guys have found a kind of fiction that allows you to be a little bit more of part of the equation. I may write a script and I've already decided what role the listener is going to play. I have already decided what your character's arc is, but more than any other kind of fiction, you are immersing yourself in it. When I ask a question, I pause for a response. It's your organic response, your personality that's being inserted into that character, as much as I'm inserting my personality into mine. And it feels more immersive, and I think for that reason, it is a really good way to give us that vicarious emotion, that vicarious experience that we need, whatever experience that is. And you guys have been early to the party in discovering this new form of entertainment, this new form of fiction, this new way to fulfill that emotional need. And because you have found it, because you have latched onto it, because you have enjoyed it, because you're commenting and sharing and subscribing. Right now it sounds like I'm asking for you to comment, share, and subscribe. Go ahead. But because you've done that, you're teaching the algorithm that this is something worth having, that this is something worth promoting. You're part of introducing it to other people. You're part of helping other people find this. Just by being here right now and listening, you're part of the equation. You're part of the creation. You're part of the process. You're contributing to it. I mean, without you guys, I'd still be writing, but I wouldn't be writing this. And I love writing this stuff. And this particular genre is growing really fast because of you listening, because of you liking and subscribing and sharing. And again, it sounds like I'm making the pitch. I mean, go ahead. It helps, but that's not the point of this whole thing. I think the point that I'm making is that you guys are the reason that any of this is here. So thank you. Thank you for allowing me to do something that I really enjoy. But also, thank you for making it popular enough that it has become viable for more and more artists, for more and more writers, for more and more VAs. Because I also like listening to this stuff. And I also want more of it. And I want more people to do it and do it well. Right now, we're at a stage where we just want more of it, and we'll take whatever we can get. But soon enough, this genre is going to be as saturated as every other. And that's when the competition is going to start. That's when people are going to have to start upping their game. And I can't wait. I hope when that happens, I'll still be able to entertain you as well as I do now, when there are so many other people who are doing it so much better. But thanks to you, we will all have the opportunity to find out. Okay, lecture over. Thank you all very much. I hope you will be as good to yourselves as you are to me. And I will talk to you tomorrow.